Okay, I have some things to say. Now, Jurassic Park is and always has been my favorite movie. At least that's my answer when asked the question. By favorite, I mean I very much enjoy this movie, and I have seen it so many times that some scenes I can even remember frame by frame. I even like the second and the third installment, so you can imagine I was very excited when Jurassic World was announced. Jurassic World had the same effect on me as The Force Awakens. A shit rehash of the original movie left me unimpressed, but then the subsequent movie recontextualized it as bearable, simultaneously turning me off of anything to come afterward. Although I did see Tross in cinemas and I still have not seen Dominion to this day. Anyway, I am informed that this new one is a return to form. Those embarrassing Jurassic World movies are nothing for us to worry about anymore. This is effectively Jurassic Park 4. So let's dig into the meat of the trailer, shall we? This first shot takes us into a museum lobby. The painted box tube shipping frame suggests this is some sort of traveling exhibit. I've worked on traveling exhibits like this before, and I can tell you, this unpacking scene is industry accurate. Good job, movie. Another fun detail is the right rib section of a sauropod contained in the crate underneath the skeleton. Maybe it's part of the other skeleton from the rotunda display in the first movie. I feel so bad for the crew that had to put that thing back together. Oh wait, the first movie showed Mrs. Rex unceremoniously tossing the body of a Deinonychus into the skeleton. And would you look at that? They've displayed the tyrannosaur in a way that keeps a memory of the destruction intact. What a nice little piece of continuity, as an homage to the tragedy that was Jurassic Park.
After careful consideration, I've decided not to endorse your park. So have I.
But this brings me to my first issue with Hollywood dinosaurs. Oh god, I'm already annoyed, and we're barely 2 seconds into this. That's okay, calm down. Just because you work in this industry does not mean you can expect everyone to know how every little piece works. Anyway, movies and TV shows always seem to depict dinosaur skeletons as a collection of plaster casts, glued together haphazardly. One reckless act can send the entire thing crumbling into a pile of dust on the floor, and that destruction certainly looks fantastic on camera. Look at the flying crumbs, mummy! Oh, don't touch the dinosaur. You wouldn't want it to fall on you.
Bless my bifocals, it can't be! One of our bones is missing!
Right. Now, I have helped construct at least 8 Tyrannosaur mounts, and every single one of them has a 4-inch steel pipe running the entire length of the spine. I don't care how much girl power that Rexy is using, that Dromaeosaur is not going to split a 4-inch pipe in twain. But I can't expect anyone to intuitively know that, so I'll have to let it go. At least the skeleton looks like actual Tyrannosaurus fossil, instead of whatever the fuck this is. Have you ever even seen a fossil? You know what... never mind. The size of that Tyrannosaurus skull at the bottom corner is correct, but the skeleton behind the workers has been upscaled digitally to almost double its original size. Here, before the break, look at the cervical vertebra, how they've rotoscoped around the sign. And the resolution and everything. This is an establishing shot. This is not a difficult render. It's not even moving. What are you doing? Oh no, don't tell me.
Bigger. Why do they always have to go bigger?
We're doing the J.J. Abrams thing, aren't we? 5,000 planet-destroying star destroyers. I mean, what was wrong with this?
You said you've got a T-Rex?
Uh-huh. Say again. We have a T-Rex.
A Tyrannosaurus is an already very impressive animal, but you are so committed to the idea that every single movie needs to have a bigger and badder threat that simply a Tyrannosaurus Rex by itself is not enough spectacle for you. So you decide, fuck it, we'll just make it much bigger. Anyway, don't pay attention to that, we have characters to meet. Michael Crichton inserted Dr. Ian Malcolm as a voice of the author and a voice of reason to both the characters and the plot. Jeff Goldblum portrayed this character fairly accurately to the source material in the first and even the second movie. But we can't use him again because we've thoroughly assassinated his character and now he's a completely retarded git, furthering the trend of older characters being sad old men, not to be taken seriously. Oh well, time for someone new. Enter not Dr. Henry Wu and not Sarah Harding. Fine, I'll try. Henry Loomis and Zora Bennett. Well, these two begin discussing the plan, and fuck no, there's that Triceratops skull from the 5th movie. Do you remember Fallen Kingdom? Because I certainly don't. But I do remember at the end the Indoraptor met its demise upon the horns of such a beast. Fuck you, movie, for reminding me of that piece of shit. You can even see the spot where the original cast ends, and the artificial pointiness was added on just to make these horns even more ridiculous. The silly part is that this is specifically made so the horns point upward to make it lethal to that Indoraptor as he fell through the skylight. Having horns pointed high in the air makes no sense as a defense mechanism. Triceratops are known to have been hunted by tyrannosaurs, and so those horns have been used defensively. Horns face forward. That is the best option for a weapon. Not to mention it was established in that movie that was a fossil collection, and this is clearly a cast. Do you know what a fossil is? It's made of rock. If you drop an animal the size of a polar bear onto a piece of rock, even if it's sharp and penetrates its chest cavity, it's still going to break off and fall and crumble to the ground. But no, you wanted your stupid reference to the Indoraptor getting speared through the side. The death of the enemy upon the very institution that built it. What a tragedy. Anyway, Zora has been declared a specialist for this mission. How does this twatwaffle not know what the mission is or who is on it? Good God, has he not been briefed before coming here to meet these people? Alright, hold on. I need to calm down. This is only the first scene after all, it might change.
Don't go into the long grass!
The next scene, we see Dr. Bennett trouncing through the long grass, and the voiceover informs us they are on the brink of a medical breakthrough. Ooh, an interesting development in the plot. Let's see how it turns out. Suddenly, Dr. Loomis turns around, and we see the tail whip of a tyrannosaur rise up. Hang on. The fact that this is the visual that caught your attention is absolutely retarded, because these animals are described as the largest on the planet. Now, by largest, they must mean longest, because fuck you, blue whales, this is a movie about dinosaurs, not whales. Yeah, fuck whales. Anyway, we got to see two individuals, one of which is lying in the grass, and now you see the problem with that previous shot. How on earth did he not see the Paragatite Dreadnought Alamosaur, Argentina? You know what? There's a lot of titanosaurs vying for the title of biggest, so I don't know, pick one. Why don't you use your eyes, you fucking spoon? Are we doing that thing where characters don't see something simply because it's out of frame?
What, are you retarded?
Then breathe. Next, we see this beautiful shot of a canyon and a pterosaur rising into the mist. As production officials of this have indicated several times, we are going back to the roots of the original trilogy. Which, unfortunately, these days seems to indicate they're going to pull a Force Awakens and lift the story and just change the colors and names a bit. So then we are told that all these species exist in an isolated place. Is it Isla Sorna? It's Isla Sorna, isn't it? Because Los Cinco Muertos is where the factory research facility and factory floor of the Jurassic franchise is canonically located. So it would be an absolute travesty if you decided to put these animals on yet another island. What's that? No, we're not talking about Camp Cretaceous. No, that doesn't count. But I could be wrong. We shall see. We then see our characters walking through the museum hallways underneath the Titanosaur skeleton, with some very real prep tools strewn about the room. Some scaffolding in the back, and a Deinonychus skeleton behind them still in its shipping frame. Once again, very accurate depiction of what this job site would look like. Well, except for large piles of rubbish from peeled-off tape, wadded-up plastic wrap, and dirty rags. Dirty, dirty rags. We then cut to our other protagonist, Owen Sattler Grant, reacting to the tiny woman being the group's security, seeming to indicate he is unaware of the threat involved. Wouldn't the stories of Jurassic Park and Jurassic World be well known by this point? Are there not supposed to be actual dinosaurs roaming freely all over the world? Are we retconning the last movie? Oh, please tell me we're retconning the last movie. We then cut to a different setting, where we see a pontoon plane landing in a harbor of an island nation. The log construction of the pier and corrugated steel roofs suggest a Caribbean location. but the mountains in the background suggest something in Chile or Peru or somewhere more along the Mexican coast. I will also point out that these are the mountains from earlier in the trailer where we saw the pterosaur flying in the mist, which was referred to as the only place in the world these animals existed. That must mean this location is where most of the film will be set, if we want to see dinosaurs. But if it is, why is it so populated? There's quite a bit of maritime activity here. There seems to be no threat of dinosaurs, so perhaps this is not the island. So which is it, movie? Is the island the only place where these things are found, or are they everywhere?
He's your guy?
Introducing this movie's incarnation of Robert Muldoon or Roland Tembo, the wisecracking, badass character who knows what's going on but always has a joke at the ready. Now, I like Mahershala Ali. I think he's a good actor. I think he looks pretty badass in most of his roles. I really hope this movie does him justice. We shall see.
We're the best at moving things and people in and out of places they shouldn't be.
She's confident and competent. Okay, I'm fine with this. She's very good at her job, and we have seen nothing to indicate otherwise. She clearly has resources and a crew, but holds herself to a standard of action. The fact that she is now saying this at a tropical location means that we cannot be on the dinosaur island yet. This is still the exposition portion of the movie, so I'm changing what I said earlier. That pterosaur shot must be from the end of the movie. As an aside, this bar looks quite believable. The collection of license plates is a very typical motif, and photos and various trinkets on the wall indicate a very rich community. However, the comically oversized megalodon jaw on the far right of the frame is once again a reminder that we cannot simply be impressed by the real majesty of ancient creatures. Everything must be turned into some kaiju monstrosity. We then cut to a military patrol ship, and a shot inside of the crew looking at a map. Going to Barbados, avoid government control. Ali's character then states there aren't that many patrols anymore because no one is dumb enough to go. Where, Barbados? Wait a minute. Barbados? Are we not doing Costa Rica at all? So this is not Isla Sorna. What are you doing, movie? Why do these films keep flip-flopping between whether or not the dinosaurs are isolated and contained, or the dinosaurs are out all over the place? I swear, if at the end of this movie the dinosaurs escape and get out into the bigger world, I'm going to scream. We are shown some pipelines across the landscape in the sunset. Then we cut to a mining facility with an electrified dino fence around it. Except on the left of the frame where the fence inexplicably stops and is just open. What's the point of your fence if you have a dinosaur-sized gap in it? Quick shot of weapons being loaded, and then we cut back to the boat approaching an island. Same geology as before, so maybe the pterosaur shot was from here. But we're clearly extremely close to the port for which we left given the short-range capabilities of the boat. I would assume that to be the case. This calls into question even more about the ability to contain the animals. I understand dinosaurs maybe not being able to get off the island naturally, but pterosaurs and mosasaurs? Specialist Bennett then says this is the research facility, and we see Discount Alan Grant and Discount Roland Tembo looking around at the rubble. Grantling, I like that, I'm going to call him Grantling from now on. Grantling then looks at an embryo up close. Oh god, he's even dressed like an exact fusion of Alan and Owen.
We need DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs.
Does this mean there are 3 Dreadnoughtus, or there are 3 giant animals considered the biggest? Wait, I'm putting my prediction in now. 1 dinosaur, 1 pterosaur, and 1 mosasaur. But this shot is from the long grass again, so this means she's got her gun loaded and is looking up at the Argentina Dreadnoughtus Futurlongus. But this shot is from the long grass again. So this means she's got her gun loaded and is looking up at the Argentina Dreadnoughta Futurloncocelius. But we cut to show that they are in fact not looking at the Alabosauroplodicus, but in fact a beautiful waterfall with soaring pterosaurs gracefully gliding in the updraft. Not Eddie Carr then asks if they really need a sample from an egg, so we're doing the third movie again as well. And it is at this point that it seems we must insert our second beat of humor. We're at the halfway mark of this trailer and have cut the tension twice. The emotional beat cycle has been almost algorithmically 30 seconds. It's amazing what short-form content has done to the movie-going audience.
I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Now I suppose you could have used any American fighter jet, but specifically mentioning the F-16 Fighting Falcon is an interesting choice when you could easily have mentioned a more relevant modern aeroplane such as the F-22 Raptor. But it doesn't really matter because they're all about 15 meters long, so I can only assume you're talking about an Adzarchid, such as Quetzalcoatlus or Hatzegopteryx. They are really taking this not on InGen's list thing to its limits. During this quippy little moment, we have a cutaway to a stunt double rappelling from atop a waterfall, and seeing that it is supposed to be not Sarah descending into an opening in the rock face, which cuts to a shot of... what the fuck? This pterosaur built a nest inside a temple? There are ruins from an ancient civilization here? I thought we were in Barbados. Whatever, Barbados, Costa Rica, Peru, whatever the fuck. It's a movie. Don't worry about it. Even the lighting is reminiscent of Indiana Jones. You remember Indiana Jones, right? You like those movies, right? Well, Ms. Bennet delivers the make it quick line upon hearing what I can only assume are Mummy and Daddy. We then see Dr. Paleontology Man being attacked on the cliff by a Hatzegopteryx. Of course you did, movie. The very justified animal tries to remove the threat from her offspring, then Scarborough Jones Sparta kicks it out of the cave. Hang on to your butts, we're doing this! Grantling looks down at the rope connecting them just before being yanked off his feet. Well, that's it. He's dead. 10 out of 10, best movie ever, goodbye. Oh wait. Zora Schwarzenegger then digs her heels into the ledge and by sheer brute strength stops the falling body of a fully grown man while resisting the pull of... what was it?
A flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Indeed. You know what, maybe there's a missing shot where she wraps the rope around something for leverage, because there is no way a human of any size can resist that kind of force without causing their body serious damage.
Are you retarded?
Then the trailer shots begin. Beautiful beach. Roland Muldoon lights a flare. Bennett breathes heavily in the red light, as we hear the animals of this location are too dangerous to be put on display. We just left them here to roam freely on this island, so close to the publicly frequented Bahamas that it can be accessed by patrol boat. Then, after being told about the insane monstrosities, the trailer switches focus to raptors, an animal that we know for a fact was put on display in the park. We show a shot of redesigned dromaeosaur feet stepping through a flooded basement as yet another new character says, "Please don't say they're raptors," and Grantling confirms. They are, in fact, raptors. You remember the raptors, right? Then the voiceover continues with the worst of the worst as the D-Rex Gorilla Knuckle enters the frame on the island pier. I know it's a trailer and the raptor scene is not in conjunction with the kaiju scene, but this little sprinkle of key-jangling hobnobbery is irritating and made worse by the fact that we are yet one more 30-second cycle through this. I swear, it's every 30 seconds.
Hey, look at this! I know you stopped paying attention.
Looky, Senator, there's a Jedi arriving.
Cut to black and start tension sequence. It's not bad, it's just cliché. AliExpress then waves frantically, stealing Dr. Malcolm's hero move from the first movie. Duncan! Oh, cool. His name is Duncan. Anyway, Alibaba's scream is then drowned out by a new roar. I like this roar. A new era dominates the title card, indicating that we are done with those terrible Jurassic World movies. See the Jeep crashing through the gate? Remember when Dennis did that in the first movie? I sure hope the driver of that Jeep doesn't encounter Dilophosaurus. Wait, is the next shot a Dilophosaurus? Oh good, our heroes are shooting in tunnels. Well, that's fine. Why should we blow all the references to the first movie in the trailer? I mean, if we're going to nostalgia, we might as well save some for the full audience experience. Another title card is born. A new era is born. The movie called Rebirth and the promotional material has made it clear this is functionally Jurassic Park 4. I'm okay with this. And...
No! 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 No!
Okay. I'm okay. The Dilo is standing out in the open by a river outside of some facility entrance, and we see standing by the pier yet another new character, dripping wet and wearing no pants. She stares down the dilo and then turns to, oh my god, it's a bull tyrannosaurus! I can only assume this is part of a chase scene where she must swim to safety. It's possible those two are out of sequence, but if I were to predict, the tyrannosaur sneaks up from behind the facility, and just before munching on this little tart, he is distracted by the dilophosaur, giving our minxy heroine a chance to run down the pier and dive into the river.
I'll tell you the problem with the scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it.
The trailer then moves on to a shot of paleontology man locked in with the kaiju. I guess we're doing Alien now, too. Wait, didn't he die to the Quetzalcoatlus before? Maybe this is a different character and I'm just racist. Anyway, if this line is congruent with other Jurassic messages before, we are probably making a meta-comment about leaving these clearly dangerous lab experiments to ravage the world while posturing about destruction caused by humans interfering with nature. No time to think about that. The T-Rex has in fact made it to the river and... Wait a minute, that's not the girl from before. Is this the river scene? Oh my god, it's the river scene! Do you remember the Sega version of Jurassic Park with its unforgettable river level? Remember in the book where Alan and the kids are on an inflatable dinghy and the T-Rex literally lifts them out of the water on its head? Seriously, this is how the scene plays out in the book. It's admittedly a tense scene, but outside of a literary form, it's just a bit silly.
But Apollo, people love the river scene. They've been wanting the river scene ever since the first movie.
Yes, but we did this in the third movie. The Pteranodon even picks up Billy like it picked up Tim in the book. I'll be honest, I'm being a little hypocritical here because the river scene is one of my favorite sequences from the book as well. Grant and the children take the river out of the aviary after surviving said encounter with the Pteranodons. Actually, I think in the book they were pterodactyls. They see Microceratus jumping like lemurs through the mangroves overhanging the river. They also see Dilophosaurs performing a mating ritual on the high riverbanks while they pass underneath. And finally they come to a still place where the Tyrannosaurus Rex surfaces like a crocodile, as I mentioned before. Wait, they also did this part in Jurassic Park 3, with the Spinosaurus coming up underneath the boat. Oh well, let's give it another try, I guess.
Survival is a long shot.
Why, thank you, not Alan Grantling. I'm glad you're still alive to keep us grounded in the holy shit. We are doing the T-Rex river scene and redoing the Spinosaurus boat scene. My, can't resist the double dip, can you? And look, we're doing this Abrams style. In the third movie, we only had one Spinosaurus. Now we're going to have 3. Isn't that exciting? What's that? Not enough? Oh yeah, I forgot. We can't let these animals be scary on their own. We will have a pack of Spinosaurus helping a Mosasaurus. Let me say that again. A pack of Spinosaurs working as wingmen for an animal that has been shown to eat carnivores their size.
What the hell are those?
What do you mean you don't know what they are? Because you didn't do your research before coming here? Did not the Spinosaurus do the exact same thing in 2001? Should that not have been reported, especially since Fallen Kingdom showed us Ian Malcolm basically made public all the Isla Sorna incidents? That was even established back in The Lost World.
The scientist, the guy, I saw you on TV.
We cut to inside the boat and we see that No Pants, Gawker Girl, and Rex Food are a family. Although this trailer does not allude to much of the character drama portion of the movie, I can only assume we're doing a mashup of Malcolm's daughter and the Kirbys. Is this movie apologizing for Jurassic Park 3? Because there is a lot of it in here. The eggs, the pterosaurs, Spinosaurs, the boat, the family.
What in the hell is that going to accomplish? Poop on their shoes. Their shoes, dude. Are you retarded? Poop on the shoes.
Are you a retarded person?
Poop
Charlie?
on the shoes!
Is this Universal Studios version of J.J. Abrams flipping off Rian Johnson? Because now somehow we are upset at Joe Johnston? Oh well, moving on.
Defend territory, stalk, hunt.
Defend territory, stalk, pause for effect, hunt. What are you talking about? Why are these lines in this movie? This is what, yes, animals do. Everybody knows how animals work.
None of what you just said is good.
None of what you just said is good? My God, the writing is absolutely stellar. Let me guess, it's been another 30 seconds. Holy crap, almost exactly. Anyway, now that we've entered our 5th cycle at the 2-minute mark, we'll make the boat tip from presumably the Mosasaurus while a crew member is flung from the observation deck, narrowly escaping the breaching jaws of Paul Sereno's 2011 Spinosaurus aegypticus. Little girl is flung off the boat because, of course she is. Once again, parents are shown to be completely inept. The next cut shows Judge Scarlet Dread cocking a sniper rifle, and we can see that she's tied off around the waist. If the boat is at risk of being rocked, surely the civilians in the cabin would be secured, no? Cool gun noise, Mosasaurus breach. This is fine. We've established the Mosasaur comes up out of the water to grab prey, and oh, this is a whale-style breach where it splashes sideways in order to capsize the boat. Are they extending the problem-solving capabilities of every other non-tyrannosaur monster to the Mosa now? What the fuck?
You know, you read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you don't take any responsibility.
Cue subdued music box rendition of the original theme and logo, yada yada yada. Wait, let me guess. One final bait shot. What's it going to be? The T-Rex? The D-Rex? The Raptors? Returning actor cameo? Oh. Okay, well at least you showed some restraint. Overall, I would have to say this looks better than Fallen Kingdom or Dominion, which isn't saying much, but at least it puts it in the category of Jurassic movies I'd be willing to see again, so I suppose I do have a modicum of excitement for this movie, although my expectations are quite low. I can hardly fucking wait.
Stick, stupid! Fetch a stick, boy! Yes!